Hi, I'm Emmy, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a really simple vegetarian pasta dish based on the Italian dish fusilli calabrese, which is pasta, tomato and mozzarella. This is a slightly different version that in my family we call Lanzarote Pasta, because whenever we went to stay in Lanzarote, this was the special at the Italian restaurant for probably about 25 years. So the first thing you're going to need is a tin of chopped tomatoes, probably one tin for 2 people, so I'm making it for 3. You then need a red onion, 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. You can get it in a bulb like this for about 40 pence, or for 80p you can get a jar of pre-chopped garlic to make your life a bit easier. You're also going to need some tomato puree, some dried basil, a little bit of sugar to just take the acidity out of the tomato, some pasta. Now, whilst we're on pasta, I am celiac, which means I can't eat wheat, gluten or barley, so the brand I would recommend if you know any celiacs is the Free-From Brown Rice Pasta by Dove's Farm, but any of your Free-From pastas will work, or if you aren't celiac, any normal pasta. Same goes with the pesto. If you have anyone who is vegan or lactose intolerant, you can buy lactose-free pesto, and mozzarella, not suitable for the vegans, unfortunately. So first things first, we're going to do our prep work. The first thing we're going to prep is our onion. So you want to take your knife, keeping the tip on the board, which I did not do successfully, so don't be like me. And you just want to slice off the top and bottom of your onion, keeping that root intact. Just get rid of all of the little bits. And then you want to take off the skin of your onion. You can see it's peeling away already. Once your onion is peeled, you're going to chop it in half through the root. Just carve one side. And then, keeping your fingers in a claw-like motion, you're going to cut using this sort of motion. You don't want to cut through the root, you want to keep all of them together. And the trick is you can run it along the front of your finger here to try and make your cuts quite close together so you get a really nice finely diced onion. As you get towards this end, it can be easier to pinch both sides. Just make sure you don't cut your thumb. Now, if you want to make your onion really finely diced, you can make this way through your onion, but that is not a necessary step. And then using that claw-like grip again, keeping the tip of your knife on the board, using a rocking motion to glide through the onion rather than pressing down. The next thing we're going to do is chop our garlic. Now, when you've got a bulb like this, you just want to break the neck of it and get off all this loose papery skin. You can see here, and then I like it quite garlicky, so I'm going to go for 2 nice big juicy cloves of garlic. And just using your knife, again, trying to keep it in contact with the board, chopping off the top and bottom of your garlic. If, like mine, your garlic's got a little bit of green on the inside, that's absolutely fine. Just peel off the skin. So once you've got your garlic peeled, just wanted to raise, if you've got a couple of imperfections on your garlic like this, you can just use your knife to gently shave those away, because we don't want those going into our lovely sauce. And then the easiest way to do it, kind of the same technique as you used with the onion on a smaller scale, just make some cuts, not going all the way through, in one direction, and then a couple of these cuts, and then again using that gliding motion. And for the last bit, you can cut it into 2 smaller bits and just finely dice. Now, once you've got your garlic chopped like that, you can get it even finer by just collecting the garlic, and escaping a bit, into the middle, and then put the tip of your knife on the board, holding with the other hand, and just chopping over it a few times, just to get those larger bits diced down. Now we're moving over to the hob, so turn it on. A medium-high heat, and a decent glug of oil into your pan. So once your oil's nice and hot, you can just put your hand gently over the pan to feel the heat, and also you can see the oil has spread out and thinned down a little bit. So I would use a spatula over a wooden spoon, much easier to get everything out. Just tip your onion and garlic in. We don't want this to cook in sense of getting brown, we just want to sweat it till it goes translucent. After 2 or 3 minutes, your onion should be beginning to go slightly translucent and have really softened down, and that's when you want to add your chopped tomatoes. And turn the heat down just a touch. And to get all of the tomatoiness out of your carrots, if you just put a little bit of water into them, just a little bit, swill it around to get all of that tomatoey goodness out, and add that back in. As you can see, there are some quite big bits of tomato, so during the cooking process you can just kind of mush them down a little bit with your spatula. So once you've got that all mixed in, you want your tomato paste, basil and your sugar. I'm just going to grab a spoon for the sugar. Only a teaspoon, we're not adding much. So with your tomato paste, if it's sealed at the bottom like this, in the lid there's a little dimple here that opens it for you. Also useful with medications. So this is double concentrate, so you probably, if you've got single concentrate, maybe you want to add twice as much as I am. So just a decent splodge, technical term. With your basil, again, you can kind of eyeball it, but maybe a teaspoonful if you were measuring it, and same with your sugar, just a teaspoon, because it will take the acidity out of the tomatoes. And at this point you can also add a pinch of salt and pepper. I would just do a little bit to start with and then taste as you're going along to see if you want to change it up. Once you've got all of your ingredients mixed in and it's nicely bubbling, just turn the heat down slightly so it can simmer away for 5 to 10 minutes until it's really reduced down and intensified. In that time, just keep stirring it, making sure nothing's sticking. And you could abandon this recipe now. This is a really versatile pasta sauce. You could add some chilli to it, you could add some red wine, some balsamic vinegar, or just leave it as it is and have it over pasta or have it with meatballs. You can really off-road with this, but it's a really good sauce to have, and I'll see you in 5 to 10 minutes. Now we're going to add our pasta into our water, and I've got 2 for gluten-free, 1 for normal. So just pop that into your water, and you want to cook it for less than you normally would, so I would say about 5 minutes, because we're going to be cooking it in the oven again and you don't want it overcooked. Now this is where the fun can begin and you can get your kids involved. So you're going to need a roll of kitchen foil. I've got 2 already out. You just want to get quite a long sheet and lay it out shiny side up. The next thing you're going to do is take your olive oil and just put a little drizzle in the middle of each. And then, if you're feeling fancy and you have a pastry brush, go for it. But if not, you can just use your fingers. We can get the kids involved. You just want to spread the oil into kind of a square in the middle of your foil. Once you've drained your pasta, you're just going to plop it into the tomato sauce and give it a mix, and then the real fun begins. So the next step is you're going to take your tomato pasta and pop it on that oiled square on the middle of your foil. The next thing you're going to do is get your pesto, just give it a little bit of a mix to make sure it's all incorporated, and put on top. Make sure you're giving everyone an even amount. And finally, my favourite bit, you get to rip up the mozzarella and stuff it in. So I'm just going to tear your mozzarella. And the final step is you're going to do up your parcels. So bring your edges together. The trick is to make sure it doesn't all come flying out the other end, which I am not particularly good at. So you're essentially making a tin foil pasty, and you want to really crimp the edges down. And then if you've got little ones that want to decorate your foil, you can write your names on it. And it's a really versatile dish, as I was saying before. If you have someone that doesn't like pesto, you can leave the pesto out. If you have someone that doesn't want mozzarella, you don't have to put that in. You could put a different type of cheese, some olives, anything else you want to add in to just make it your own. And finally, we're going to pop our little parcels in the oven, put it to 180 for 25 minutes. And once they're out of the oven, you open them up and you get these beautiful, melty, cheesy, tomatoey pasta parcels.